Okay, hey friends, you're watching Behind the Scenes Divine Intimacy Radio. First, I got to just tell you, EWTN rocks. They do. I don't know. Lately, I've just been thinking about what watching the Synod on Synodality, and I am shocked that a German bishop actually said yesterday that we need to set aside apostolic tradition, and I'm just going to say it. That he's not deposed right this second is a scandal to the church. Now, why is the church in the United States? My wife's afraid. She's like, "What is he going to say?"
No. I'm just trying. I'm waiting for the connection to EWTN.
Okay,
That's
so
what I'm waiting
so
for.
now, yeah, here's the EWTN connection. Why is that not the case in the United States?
Because of
Mother Angelica,
yeah, being a huge
EWTN,
part.
Bishop Fulton Sheen.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Monahan. I mean, just a handful of people that are just faithful people who have held fast to the truth. Some good, faithful bishops that we've been friends with for a long time, and I'm just like so grateful to EWTN for holding the line and for doing what they do. And I'm just blown away by what's going on outside of our country, and I mean there's some things inside of our country too in the church. But
I wonder if anybody's doing a novena to Mother Angelica.
I don't know.
For the Synod on Synodality,
Yeah.
And she was a woman of fire.
I'm praying and sacrificing every day. I can tell you that it's really quite striking. So hopefully, anyway, I didn't want to focus on the negative. I just wanted to say thanks to EWTN for allowing us to do this show. And folks, you got to support them. If you're looking for good Catholic books, always go to EWTN's religious catalog. So before we jump into the show, I always say I'm excited about shows because I'm telling the truth. But this one, it's a higher level, really, because I just think what we're going to talk to you about is so cool. And I want every grandma, grandpa, mom, dad that's got young people in their lives.
Every priest needs to know about
you got to hear what we're going to talk about today.
Every vocation director, every youth director.
I'm telling you, the solution, this young man we're going to talk to today
is contributing huge
is
to the solution.
Putting an atomic bomb in the devil's,
Don't say any.
My wife is really.
Oh my goodness.
She's my prudence meter, Andrew. So she just has to look at me like, don't say the next word.
That was great.
That's really the look, and she's only given it to me about 1 million times. Don't say the next word. Don't say the next word. Yeah. That's the look on her face.
Okay. So are we ready to get started?
Yes, I will. 1 second.
Because this is still the pregame show.
I know.
Okay.
I just want everybody to know about what this guy's doing. Before we do, our community, Apostolic VA and the Avila Foundation, of course, also needs your support. We have formed over 500 men and preparing them for seminary in the United States, teaching them prayer, Catholic anthropology, how to pray the liturgy of the hour.
Part of the solution.
Part of the solution. Ding, ding, ding. We have an auction going on, SpiritualDirection.com /events. If you want to help us out, I'm auctioning off an altar that I've used in my here at the retreat center. That's really beautiful. It has my favorite icon of the Pantocrator.
And amazing items. We've had so many beautiful things donated for this auction.
Yeah. So
very cool.
SpiritualDirection.com /events. Okay. That's good enough. We do have introduction to spiritual theology course coming up here November 27th, Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Avila-institute.org. Dr. Marianne Sigmund is just an incredible woman. And if you want to dive into graduate level studies in spiritual theology, check that out. So we're going to start the show. On your mark, get set, go! This is Dan and Stephanie Burke. Welcome to Divine Intimacy Radio, your radio haven of rest.
Your hermitage of the heart.
Your monastery of the mind, where we lift our hearts and minds to heaven to draw upon the wisdom of the saints to help us navigate this crazy, insane, wacky life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This valley of tears.
This valley of tears. Wherein, by the way, we can be joyful.
Right.
And we can be warriors for Jesus, and we can make a difference. And the dude that's coming on the show today is a warrior for Jesus, and he's making a difference. I think in a way that is so unique and so powerful. As we said before the show, every priest, every grandparent, every parent,
every vocation
everyone
director,
who touched, every vocation director, everyone who touches a young man or a young woman,
every Catholic school principal.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So who is this guy? What's his name again?
We have a new friend. We're so happy to welcome a new friend, Andrew Laubacher. And he, Andrew, I'm just going to go right into his bio. Andrew is the executive director for Humanality. Andrew has been traveling the country and world, leading worship and speaking the last 15 years, sharing the gospel, and is now helping people heal and detox. Did you hear that? Helping people heal and detox from phone and tech addiction. The most dehumanizing, mind-scrambling forces in our time. And this guy's got the antidote. He's got the M16. He's got the tank weapon. He's blowing this stupid thing up. Well, we're really happy you're here with us, Andrew.
I'm happy to be here. That was an incredible intro. And I'm so excited now. I'm always passionate to talk about these topics, but you guys got me even like more excited. So I'm ready. I'm ready to get into it.
How old are you, Andrew?
I am I am as old as Jesus was. I'm 33.
Awesome.
Oh, great year. Great year. This is going to be the year for you.
Just, Amen. We're fighting for the church and fighting for, healing and all that. And I'm always, it's always so much more exciting to me when young people like you are out on the front lines and figuring out new ways. Jordan, you and Jordan need to hang out. Our producer, he has an amazing Instagram page called Do the Harder Thing. I really think you two should do an interview as well to get to his audience, because his audience is dead center to the folks you're serving. So, but so what I'm struggling with is how to talk about this, because I want to get to what it is, but just Humanality is what? Tell our listeners what the project is about.
Yeah, so Humanality is a 501c3 nonprofit that is helping people discover freedom through an intentional relationship with technology. So it actually started at Franciscan University last year by Hope and Justin Chenier. And this Unplugged scholarship, some people might have heard about, but started with 30 kids who joined this scholarship, where we paid them scholarship money to give up their smartphone and take on a dumb phone to really start to engage reality again and detox from phone and tech addiction. So that same year, over 50 kids just willingly gave up their smartphones to be part of the movement. And now we're expanding to universities across the whole country. And we really believe that this is a movement that's going to really transform the way that we interact with each other. And we really want to lead with the good of technology, like you and me are communicating right now on technology. It's a good thing. But at this point, the data is very clear that there is negative mental health outcomes. I'd say physiological, spiritual, negative outcomes that come with direct exposure to these devices and social media platforms. So that's a little bit about how we started.
Let's get right to what a dumb phone is.
That's I want to know what that is.
Yeah. So we're partnering with Lightphone, LIGHT, lightphone.com. And this phone literally is just calling, texting. It has an alarm clock, calculator, a hotspot, and some directions. So it's the phone I use, and it's literally just, it fits in the palm of your hand. And it's just the basics without the addictive aspects.
Let's pause for a second. His audio faded back a little bit ago.
Yeah, I noted that too.
It's coming through good on you. Okay. All right. Won't worry about it. So what I want to do is, so we'll just come right back in after that last sentence. Okay. Look, do you have it near you?
Yeah, phone? I can give you more volume too.
You're good.
No, that's fine.
Is that better?
But we want to, we
Yeah.
want to see it.
Yeah.
Can you hold up the
Yeah.
Oh, the
dumb
light
phone?
phone. Oh,
Do you
wait.
have it in your pocket?
Yeah, and let me just direct how we come back in really quick.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, I want to come back in just like we were on that
Hold on to it.
that same sentence. Hold on to the phone.
Yeah.
Hold it, put it down on the table. Just okay. So I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna say the sentence over again, and I want you to show it. We'll describe it more on your market set go. Do you have the phone with you right now?
Yes, this is the light phone.
Okay.
So if you can see that, it's simply the basics. It has, there's the phone, alarm clock, calculator, directions, hotspot, and it's just the basics,
Looks like the size of a credit card. Is it bigger than a credit card?
Yeah, it's very small. I mean,
it's in the palm of your hand, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And when we, so just to describe, so that's for the live streamers can see that.
Yes.
And you can see our live stream show, by the way, out on SpiritualDirection.com. We post them all out there. But when you showed it to us, we were at where we met. Andrew was at a wedding of a mutual friend, and he showed it to us. Now, the difference visually than a smartphone is how a smartphone is designed. And I want you to comment on this. It's designed to make you addicted to looking at it all the time.
Dings, colors, sounds, vibrations, emojis, all these things that give you what is that?
Stimulus,
dopamine.
Yeah, the dopamine hit.
Yeah, the dopamine hit that causes us to be addicted, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So the science on this is actually like really interesting, and this is what many PhDs and MDs are talking about. But these devices are directly correlating to this dopaminergic pathway in the brain, which makes us feel good when we eat and when we sleep. If you have sex, I mean, it's this good feeling, chemical in the brain. And there's multiple ways that these devices are essentially hijacking that neural pathway to keep you as addicted. And the word that they're actually using in the tech world is engaged. So they want to keep you engaged in their products. So there's two really main ways, and this is out of Cal Newport's book, Digital Minimalism. But the two main ways that they're keeping us addicted to these platforms is through intermittent positive reinforcement. So the idea that when you're scrolling and you have no idea what's going to come next, that is preparing the brain for that pathway for dopamine to be released to make you want to keep scrolling. So you're seeing the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and you don't know. And that unknown keeps you scrolling. And another way they're doing it is keeping us, addicted is through this idea of social approval, which is so deep in our anthropology and our desire to belong and our desire to be accepted. And when we're on these platforms, they're literally playing on multiple psychological realities that are keeping us as engaged as possible. So they're not really interested in our well-being. These companies are interested in us being engaged in their products, right? And that's how they make money. It's your attention that's actually being bought. You think it's a free platform, but they're really using your time to be able to, get to their ends, their means, which is again engagement.
The other thing about it, the other thing about it that's nefarious at a profound level is people who are trained with PhDs in psychology are on these software development teams.
Correct.
They're violating the Hippocratic Oath. They are harming people to make money.
Yeah.
And they're using psychological sciences and software, and they test the software, and they can use I read an article about it, imagery of the brain and watching activity in the brain. And it's like brainwashing.
Yeah.
They do everything to tune the device, color, speed, length of presentation, haptics, which is like the physicality of it, to watch where the maximum fire of neurons go.
Correct.
It is deep, dark, demonic.
Trillions of dollars being into into these platforms to keep you as engaged as possible. So most people don't want to be a slave, right? Most people want to be free, and we obviously, especially my generation, loves this idea of freedom and not, having any rules or regulations. And we don't realize that these devices, have enslaved us. It's about 10 years, since they've been out. And it's funny, there's an interview with Steve Jobs, I think in 2010, when the iPad initially came out. And, the journalist was asking, Steve, how are your kids enjoying the iPad? And he said, quote, "We don't give it to them."
Awesome.
Right. Right.
You know, like there's
Steve
people.
Jobs didn't give his own kids this
Right.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah. There was a horrifying moment in our own family one time where my eyes just about popped out of my head. Stephanie and I went to visit some good friends of ours who have kids our age. They're all good people. They're devout Catholics, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're in the kitchen or something, meeting with our friends, and I walk into the living room, and every stinking kid is on their own device in a room, not interacting.
Yeah.
Staring at a screen, the different screens, doing whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what are the long-term ramifications? But I want to turn one more corner on this.
Okay.
And that is what Elon Musk has put a nuclear bomb to. God be praised for that guy. I'd love to see him become a man of faith. All the lies and manipulation that's become a channel for political power to manipulate people toward belief systems that are destructive, socialism,
right.
communism, you know, all of the sort of the fake awake, you know, I don't want to use the words to get, you know, trip the YouTube stuff, but the fake awake folks just being fed this junk through these channels that they're addicted to.
I mean, you can look at so many of the social ills right now.
Yeah.
And I'll just name a few of them. One of them is this idea that we should not be having children anymore. That there are too many children out there that need to be adopted. You shouldn't have children. You shouldn't be open to life. You need to give. I mean, the moral ills that are going on. And if you think about all of the temptations to adultery, to any kind of end that's going to be harmful to you. And I'll give you an example. I had and I'll do this real quick, but I had a student years ago started cutting, you know, an 8th grade student that started cutting. And I met with her because it started to spread through my 8th grade class. And I said, okay, I need to talk to you. Tell me, this idea didn't just come out of the air. You didn't just reach up and grab it and start it. I said, when's the first time you saw it? Well, I don't know. No, I said, go back and think about this. When is the very first time you saw it? And she took a minute and she thought about it. And she said, I saw it on my Snapchat.
Yeah.
And it was just a picture with a kid cutting. It was just an arm with a cut.
Slicing their wrist.
And then she kept seeing it over and over and over and over again. And all of a sudden that idea.
And the demonic attached to that.
Absolutely. And then it passed through our 8th grade class and they all had to get counseling. We had the priest come in and pray, but we're coming up on a break, but technology is a problem. And I love this solution.
This is the best solution I've ever heard of.
Solution.
So we'll be right back with Andrew Laubacher. On your markets, the auction, go check it out. Help us. Avila Foundation, Apostolic VA community. If you love the fact that we have prepared 500 men for the priesthood, that we're training priests who are already ordained to be spiritual directors for seminaries, that we're serving 85 dioceses in the formation of, with Orthodox, deeply spiritual, all the richness of the church. And we need your help to do that. And we don't ask for money much, but we could really use your help. SpiritualDirection.com /events. There's an auction there with amazing cool stuff, including a couple of beachfront properties for a week and, you know, really neat stuff that people have donated.
There's one other thing that's coming up that's really, really, really important.
Oh, yeah?
For married couples out there or engaged couples. It's Divine Intimacy and Marriage Retreat.
Yeah.
And it's coming up at the Shrine of Blessed Sacrament in Hanceville, Alabama. Listen, this is an amazing retreat. It is transformative to your marriage. We have met with so many couples after the fact when they have gone through this, not because of us, but because of a work of the Holy Spirit. Of what is happening in their marriages and how it's changing their marriage for the better.
Yeah.
And so please check it out. We have one coming up in the next few weeks in November. And then we have another one in February. They will fill, but we will get you in. If you contact us, I will get you in personally. I will make sure you're there because it's a huge, huge
And it's for pre-marrieds,
pre-marrieds,
marriage is in
marrieds,
trouble, marriage is doing well. We have testimonies all across the spectrum.
and anywhere from the 20-year-olds to we've had couples in their 80s that are coming to engage in this.
Awesome.
It's so beautiful. So don't miss it. SpiritualDirection.com/events.
For the auction and for the marriage retreat.
Yep.
I'm going to dumb my phone, Nikki Palomino. Yay. Go out to Humanality.com or .org. I'm sorry, Humanality.org. All right, let's jump back into the show on your market set go. This is Dan and Stephanie Burke. Welcome back to Divine Intimacy Radio. We're here with, I don't know, I'm saying top 10 important guest of this year.
Yes.
And I'm dead serious about that.
Yeah.
His work is called Humanality, humanality.org, helping kids get free of addiction. And I'm going to say everyone out there is listening, YouTube, if you're on radio, if you're lamenting the state of the world and you really want to make an impact, I'm dead serious. Share this show all over wherever you can. Send it in an email to your family, share it on your
priest,
social media,
to your vocation
give it to your priest, and tell them about Humanality. Now, I want to go back to the design of the phone because for the radio, people can't see. So you talked, the phone has no visual appeal. So it doesn't have, like, you can text, but it doesn't have those, cute little bubbles, and you can't do, all the things you can do. So it doesn't have the visual stimulus. It's just gray font. This is dull gray font. The phone does not look cool at all. It just looks like a piece of black plastic. So, I mean, describe a little bit more, Andrew.
Yeah.
How the phone counteracts all the evil junk that people are trying to do to us.
Yeah, maybe just I'll articulate too quickly, just again, some of the data of the problem, and then we can kind of get to how Humanality is sharing solutions. And like you said at the beginning, I don't think there's anyone I've talked to yet once that's like, oh, there's not a problem like with our phones or like every single person is like, oh my gosh, I need this. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, my kids need, oh my gosh, my husband, the wives look to the husbands and call them out. And everyone, we're all addicted to these devices. And here's what I want to lead with is with mercy, because like we talked about earlier, there are very powerful companies that are literally trying to get you as addictive as possible. And the thing is, we're not strong enough. So we're actually being used by our attention spans for means that I would say, are not good. But here's some of the quick data points. I'm just going to go through them briefly. But the average American is looking at their phones 87 times a day.
Wow.
If you're 18 years and older, the average time spent on entertainment-based screen content is 12 hours. This was in 2020 data. Elementary age children now are using their phones or technology 7.5 hours a day. A survey from Common Sense Media reports that 3 out of 4 children view porn prior to 13 years of age. 52% of those children viewed violent porn. We are now 11 years.
52% viewed violent porn. At what age?
This is prior to the age of 13.
God.
Yep.
So we are now 11 years into the largest epidemic of teen mental health on record. Self-harm amongst 10 to 14-year-old girls has quadrupled since 2010. That's Jean M. Twenge, her book iGen. The number of college students who have seriously considered suicide jumped 60% since 2011 and 2016. And more than 4 to 5 adults in the United States say they check their emails, messages, and social media accounts frequently or continuously. So the problem is real. And I think first just being aware, right, of the problem is necessary. And actually in the DSM now, which, helps diagnose, mental disorders, there's legit behavioral addictions, which involve gaming, technology, or phones. So when I say that we're all addicted, I'm not using that word, flippantly. This is actual legit clinical data that's pointing to an addiction from our devices. So, some of the things we're doing, if you want to get into that, Dan, just with our clubs at universities.
Yeah, please.
So the idea is with these clubs, you join, you get a free light phone, or you can join with another dumb phone. So there's, other companies like Pinwheel and the Wise phone, and there's other options, but the light phone we're partnering with. So the first 30 students that join our club at a university will get a free light phone. And if you want to join with your smartphone, here's the parameters. You have to go grayscale. So again, to your point about the psychology behind the colors and the flashing and the,
Oh, wow.
Pavlovian experiment we're in of these dings and pings, you go grayscale, you take off the internet off of your device and all social media. So you can join the club with your smartphone, but those are kind of the parameters you have to do. And then along with that, each month, we're going to have monthly meetings where the students meet together and we actually start to dive into some of this data. There's incredible books out there sharing about what this technology is doing to us and what we can do to counteract it. So the students will kind of have time of accountability, and as they're detoxing, like literally withdrawing from Snapchat and social media and Instagram and TikTok, they're going to have community, right? Because that's crucial. So they're going to be diving into the data, having that accountability and community. We're going to bring in one of our speakers from our team, maybe myself or another speaker, to actually come and give a presentation to the school on the science, on the data. And then along with that, they get Humanality hats, shirts, all the swag. And then we're doing this really cool thing we're really excited about. It's a Humanality concert on campus. The idea is the students put on a concert, whether a local band or cover band, and the cost of admission to the concert is your phone. So you have to go experience music without a screen and just be present to the moment, And so right now, the stories that are coming out from students on campus are absolutely mind-blowing. One of them, just to highlight, I really loved. I was just visiting one of our campuses, and one of the students said, and I've never thought of this before, but he's like, I get to have first impressions with people. Because now everyone goes and looks at your story. They look at your whole last how many years and they see everywhere you traveled, all your friends, all your family. There's no such thing as first impressions anymore. And I thought that was so profound.
Human. It's
and
human.
And that's really Humanality. The word Humanality, our idea is humans engaging reality. So again, we believe, technology is good, but if we don't create that real intentionality around these devices, they will addict us. And, part of my story is I was addicted to all these myself.
Right.
I had Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. I was traveling around the world, leading worship, like doing good work for ministry. But at the same time, I was addicted to all the platforms myself.
Okay. So I got to ask you a really tough question.
Go for it.
You can dodge if you want. If a parent gives a kind of food to their child that has just a tiny bit of arsenic in it, like just the tiniest bit, and it eventually kills them, that's the grave evil. Why is it different than this? I mean, how is it that when you have these dumb phones and what's going on behind them? I mean, if someone's listening right now, so I'm going to get in trouble, but I'm just going to say, I'm not going to look at my wife. So she gives me that don't say it look. If someone's listening right now and you give your kid a smartphone after what we're telling you, I think it's a grave sin. I really do. I just think it is so inevitably destructive. We need to knock it off. Mm-hmm. We need to stop doing this to our kids, because who's paying for these stupid things?
Yeah.
It's not the kids.
Oh yeah. And that's always been one of my conversations when people tell me, well, I'm distressed because my kid's doing XYZ, and they're living under their household. They're providing them a room to sleep in, food, giving them insurance, paying for everything, paying for the car, paying for the
paying
smartphone,
for sin,
paying for the computers. And yet, but they're not acting right. They're dishonoring me. They're destroying their lives. They're suicidal. They're addicted to pornography, XYZ. And it's like,
you're funding
stop funding it.
Yeah. And here's one point to parents that are hearing this, that are also maybe feeling that conviction and also maybe feeling shame. I've noticed anytime I bring this up, especially traveling, like people initially feel shame because they know we're all addicted. And I really want to, lead with mercy insofar as that we did not know that this was going to happen to us.
Right. True.
Right. Like we were given these devices without knowing. I mean, for me, my friends showed me porn in high school, and I left the faith in high school, and I was atheist. I didn't believe in God. My conversion was after high school. And, I was kind of being told that I need to show, what I'm doing for the gospel on media. And it just started to become really odd for me to think about the saints. Like, would Padre Pio have an Instagram where he's showing like himself, like hashtag just spent 14 hours in the confessional, like I started to feel the narcissism myself and in my own life. And it was Instagram was leading me to lust.
Yeah.
It was leading me to so many other things. And again, even thinking of, Blaise Pascal, I love his quote, that all of humanity's problems stem from the fact that man cannot sit alone with himself for just 1 hour.
In silence.
Silence. I think
quote.
For me, the more that I noticed this addiction in myself, the more I was like, whoa, I need to do something. I went back to flip phones. I went back to these other options. And I knew early on that this was a problem. And then God has obviously now brought me into this work. But now, with the data that we know that's out, which, you can go to humanality.org. We're going to have a lot more info in the next 2 weeks about the data, about the stories. And I do believe, Dan, at this point, I think you're right. I think there's no good reason to give a child a smartphone, honestly, before the age of 18. And for me, I'm like, maybe 30 would be good,
Right.
because there's so many negative outcomes that we're seeing with the devices that it's hard to use it as a tool, which is it's intended for, without getting these addictive aspects.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait till you get that website all updated with all this so that people can go and
Make
see
their case.
and make their case and look at the reality of it. And individuals can see it and their eyes can be open, because it is staggering.
We're looking to get into the home, humanality in the home, and the workplace. We're actually talking with a couple of seminaries right now. We're actually partnering with Hallow to create on their app, which you can access an app from a desktop, a 30-day digital detox with Humanality, where we're literally going to walk you through like some of our simple challenges. Keep the phone out of the bedroom. Keep the phone out of the bathroom. Sometimes dad just disappears, for 40 minutes on the bathroom. And it's like, Dad, you're not going to the bathroom for 40 minutes, your meals, whatever it is. And Dan, it is kind of funny. Like, we have to start to see some of the comedy in some of this, because it is kind of so dark.
Yeah.
But what we're doing with these phones is hilarious. I mean, they are always attached to us. People are running into signs, looking down. I mean, it's insane, So there's some simple things
coming out in masses.
Totally.
Yeah.
And just some of those simple things, like keep it out of your bedroom. Like, I would wake up scrolling. I would go to sleep scrolling. Just keep it out of the bedroom. And I know you need an alarm clock. Go buy a digital alarm clock and have that, wake you up in the morning. And I guarantee you, your life will start to feel exponentially better.
Awesome.
Just with that one little tool.
Yeah.
St. Thomas Aquinas taught that entertainment causes spiritual dissipation, affects your prayer life, and it deteriorates your interior life. And that's when there was no such thing as a smartphone.
Right.
Wow. Andrew, it's been great being with you. I'm so appreciative. Every one of you out there, I'm telling you, you got to share this. This is a bomb in the devil's lap. Blow him up everywhere and anywhere you can.
Yeah.
Support them, support this project. There's not much out there I believe in more than this in terms of like direct assault against the enemy's work in the church, in the world. Humanality is the organization, humanality.org, humanality.org. Andrew, we're so grateful for the good work you're doing. If there's anything we can do to support you, you just give us a call. And with that.
Okay. Until next time, may the God of peace make you perfect in holiness. May he preserve you whole and entire, spirit, soul, and body irreproachable at the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.